What's up? I'm the best VR boxer in the world still. Still the best VR boxer in the world. I'm COTARD and CHEIF of the LDN network. And none of you care because none of you have a patriotic bone in your body. And none of you care about your fellow countrymen or helping your fellow countrymen survive. You don't care about helping your people survive. And that's why everything in the world is terrible. Everything in the world is terrible because you would rather listen to me talk and then convince yourself that I'm someone that is actively suffering. See, that's the thing. The only reason you're interested in listening to me talk is if you convince yourself that I'm actively suffering from mental illness or something. You need to convince yourself that you're watching someone actively suffer because that's an indicator of your bigotry. See, you want to see me actively suffer because of one of two things, because of what I am. You either want to see a man suffer or you want to see a pale North American suffer. Those are the only two reasons you could want to watch me and not listen to what I have to say or support me for who I am, but to tell yourself and be giddy at the idea that you think you're watching someone actively suffer from mental illness, which makes you a sick freak. That makes you a sick freak. That should be locked in a shell. That should be locked in a cell. Okay? That makes you a pervert and a sick freak. That should be buried under a prison with a hole in your head. One side and the other. Okay? There should be a linear line going from the front of your head and exiting out of the back of your head of no matter being there. There should be a gap in matter starting on one side of your skull and ending on the other for the fact that you want to watch someone actively suffer and get entertainment out of it. Okay? You're a sick freak. You're not cool. No one you talk to is cool that wants to actively watch someone suffer. You and all your friends deserve holes in your fucking heads. Okay, that's what you and your friends deserve. Alright, the world's not a better place with you and your friends around. And the reason that I can dominate you and your friends, and that the reason that none of you and your friends can beat the pale North American man in VR boxing is because I'm not a sick freak like you. Okay? The reason the pale North American man is the best VR boxer in the world is because I'm not a fucking loser and a sick freak like you. You fucking dorks are only interested in watching someone if you go on the internet and go, tee-hee-hee, tee-hee, tee-hee, the North American person is mentally ill, they're suffering, let's go poke at the North American person while they're actively suffering, tee-hee, tee-hee, and that's why your whole fucking family should be dragged out of your fucking dwellings in the middle of the night and have holes put in their head like we did in Iraq in 2003. We should redo 2003 Iraq, where people like me bashed your window open and dragged your whole family out of your houses and then put holes in every male's head that lives in your shitty house over in Iraq. We should do that all over again, because you know why? We stopped doing it and you sick fucking perverts went back to the internet and started going, tee-hee, tee-hee-hee, let's make the North American person suffer, tee-hee, tee-hee-hee. That's what you fucking sick freaks did the second we stopped bashing your windows in the middle of the night and dragging every male in your home out of it with his fucking Quran attached to his head. And then we put a hole in the Quran and the male of your household. And we should do that all over again because you're a bunch of sick fucking freaks. Alright? If Abu Ghraib prison is closed, we should reopen it, and we should start having women against their will in order to get a scholarship bash the males of your household in their fucking nutsacks. Alright? Before shoving a baton up their ass. We should start doing that again. I'm just saying that's the suffering I'm interested in seeing. But much like, or not much like you guys at all. See, what differs between me and you is I'd like to inflict it with my own hands. I'm not a spectator like you. I don't like to watch like you. I'd like to go to your country with permission from my government myself. And I'd like to have permission from my government to bash your fucking window in like 2003 Iraq. And then I want to drag the males out of your household. All right, I want you to watch me drag the males out of your household while they don't fight back. And I'm gonna hit them. I'm gonna hit them with a fucking object in the head in front of you. And I'm gonna put a hole in their fucking head. I want my government's permission to do that to you sick fucks. And you want to know why? It's because the only time you're interested in seeing someone like me talk is when you tell yourselves that I'm actively suffering from mental illness or some other sort of delusion, when everything that I'm spitting is straight fucking facts about what should happen to the males of your household, every single fucking one of them. Okay? Their fucking windows should be bashed in at 3 in the morning like fucking 2003 Iraq, and we should drag every single one of you motherfuckers out of your house. Tee-hee, I'm only interested in seeing the pale North American man talk if I tell my Discord that he's actively suffering from mental illness. I can't distinguish one facial expression from another, but I'm gonna take this screenshot and I'm gonna tell my Discord that this guy's crying even though his eyes are dry and his facial expression doesn't indicate sadness, it more indicates confusion or anger or contemplation. But I'm gonna tell my Discord that he's crying because I'm autistic and I can't read facial expressions. So I'm gonna misinform my entire friend group, and then me and my entire friend group are gonna look like a bunch of dumb fucking knitters that don't know facial expressions. But we're gonna tell ourselves that we're right. We're gonna tell ourselves that we're right, and we're only interested in seeing pale North American men suffer. So even if this guy becomes the best in the world at something, we're such a bunch of dumb fucking knitters that we're not gonna pay attention to the fact that he's the best in the world at something, and we're just gonna pay attention when he's talking, because we're a bunch of stupid fucking knitters that can't even tell facial expressions. Okay? And that's why the government should give me permission to break your fucking window in at 3 in the morning and drag every male in your household out so he can get put in a fucking CIA prison where women will break his fucking nutsack with fucking batons. Hey, you want to know the reason? Let's go over the reason why you listen to me talk more than you watch me be the best VR boxer in the world. It's because you're not a patriot. It's because you don't have any love for your people, okay? If you're pale and you live in North America, the reason you watch me talk, but you don't watch me be the best VR boxer in the world, is because you're not a patriot. It's because you don't have love for your people. It's because you don't want to see your country do good. You don't want to see the children born in your country do good, okay? You're a hating ass motherfucker. That's what you are. All three of you watching right now, hating ass motherfuckers. Where are you at when I'm being the best VR boxer in the world? You're being a hating ass motherfucker that's hating because a pale North American is the best in the world at the VR boxing. Why are you on my dick? Why are you hating because the pale North American's the best VR boxer in the world? Your women already put my dick in their mouth and their pussy. Fuck boy. Your bitch has already bent over for me. Alright? Your hating ain't gonna stop nothing. I've already cummed inside your women. Alright? Every single type of woman in the world lives here, and I put my dick in every kind of woman in the world, and I busted a nut in their pussy. So your hating ain't gonna stop shit. I've already done it all, homeboy. I've already done it all, homeboy. Your hating ain't gonna stop shit. You're late to the party, just like your whole fucking Discord. Alright? You're tardy to the fucking party, homeboy. I've already fucked your women. I've already fucked your women, homeboy. You're late to the party. They put my dick in their mouth and my ball sack. My ball sack was all up in their jaw. Alright? They had their tongue all up on my nutsack. So you're not stopping shit, homeboy. You're not stopping shit, homeboy. I didn't need any attention from the internet to get your women to put my nuts in their mouth. I didn't need no attention from the internet to get your women to put my nuts all up in their jaws. Alright, homeboy? Your women put my nuts all up in their mouth, so you ain't stopping shit. Every single type of woman on planet Earth has put my balls in their mouth. So you're not stopping anything, homeboy. Hate to break it to you. Tardy to the party like everyone you fucking know, bitch boy. What else is new? Many such cases with you hating ass motherfuckers. Many such cases with you hating ass motherfuckers. So the reason you pussy ass motherfuckers are nowhere to be found when I'm being the best in the world at VR boxing every single fucking day is because you hating ass motherfuckers hate to see a pale North American man be the best in the world at something. But guess what? Ignoring it ain't gonna change the fact that my nuts have already been up in your women's mouth. So ignoring it ain't gonna change it. I didn't need no clout online to get your women to cheat on their man and put my nuts in their mouth while they got a boyfriend. I had your bitches trying to suck my dick in the other room in a fucking tiny apartment with thin walls while her man was on the other side of the room talking about, oh, Justin, getting on her knees while going, oh, Justin. And she wasn't white either. And she wasn't a white bitch either. That's what your women do when they get alone in a room with me. Your fucking broccoli-headed torta bitches were walking into a room I was in and saw my dick and went, oh, Justin, and got on their knees while their man was in the other room. Bitch wasn't white either. So I don't need your fucking attention to get bitches to put my nuts in their mouth. You hating ass motherfuckers are MIA when I'm being the best VR boxer in the world. The reason that you're here is because you hating ass motherfuckers think you're witnessing a pale man. You think you're witnessing a pale North American man having a mental breakdown every time I do a face stream and rant. Okay? You hating motherfuckers are missing in action when I'm being the best VR boxer in the world because you hate to see a pale North American man be the best in the world at anything, let alone boxing. Oh, that really pisses you off. You probably wrote a college thesis statement about the great white hope pertaining to boxing or some shit like that. You probably wrote some racist ass shit for your college thesis about pale North American men, talking about racist pale North American men wanted to see Jack Dempsey beat Jack Johnson, but the black guy won. That's what you wrote for your college thesis. And then you came to my stream and you saw a pale North American man being the best VR boxer in the world, and that bursted your fucking bubble real quick, and then you shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's probably what your racist ass wrote a college thesis about. You probably wrote a college paper about the great white hope in boxing or some shit, and it was probably racist as fuck towards pale North American man, and that's why you're missing in action every time I'm busy on stream being the best VR boxer in the world, because you don't want to see a pale North American man shine. That doesn't mesh with your worldview and your diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarship ass. Yeah, that really pisses you off to see a pale North American man being the best VR boxer in the world, but reality doesn't suit your fucking stereotypes. Reality doesn't start and stop where your stereotypes begin and end, you racist ass motherfuckers. The only reason your racist ass is here right now is because you motherfuckers think you're watching a pale North American man have a mental breakdown. That's the only reason you racist ass motherfuckers are here right now. You motherfuckers are missing in action every time I'm busy being the best VR boxer in the world on stream. You fucking bigot ass motherfuckers. Fucking seats are empty when I'm being the best VR boxer in the world. Only time you motherfuckers show up is when I'm talking, because you racist ass motherfuckers think you're watching a pale North American man have a mental breakdown, and that's the only thing you want to see. You want to watch people suffer when you come to this app to watch vertical streams. You want to watch people suffer and judge them because you're a bunch of racist ass, bigoted ass motherfuckers. You don't want to watch me be the best VR boxer in the world because the idea of a pale North American man being the best in the world at something makes you want to grab a fucking rifle and try to Charlie Kirk me. You're a bunch of racist ass motherfuckers. But guess what? I don't need your fucking attention to get your girlfriends and your wives put my fucking nutsack in their mouth. Doesn't matter if they're black or white either. Doesn't matter if it's a black woman or a white woman. Alright? Your bitches will put my fucking nuts in their mouth. Yeah, see what happens is the bitches, when they see me working, they go, wait a minute. They were lying about the pale North American men. They go, wait a minute. The Department of Defense funded media that I watched as a kid was lying to me about the pale North American man. Maybe he's got a cock between his legs too. Alright? The bitches go, wait, if they're lying to me about the pale North American man not being able to work, if that was a fairy tale when they told me that the pale North American man can't work, does the pale North American man have a fat cock too? And then they bend over and they let me put my cock in him. Alright? See, your girlfriend and your wife, they see the pale North American man working and they go, wait a minute, the pale North American man can work. They were lying to me. The Department of Defense funded media was lying to me about the pale North American man not being able to work. Were they lying about the pale North American man's cock too? And then the bitches bend over and they put my nuts in their mouth. Your girlfriends and wives of all colors and creeds. So I don't need your attention to get your girlfriend or your wife to put my nuts in her mouth. When they see that you were lying to her whole life about the pale North American man's capabilities, they're going to question if you were lying about the pale North American man's wiener as well. Curiosity is going to kill that cat. You racist ass motherfuckers. See, when they see a field N-word like me being the pale North American man, when the bitches see the pale North American man, the field N-word such as me working, they double take and they go, wait a minute, the pale North American man can work actually. They were lying to me when they told me that the pale North American man can't work. And then the bitches put my nuts in their mouth. That's why I don't need your fucking attention to get bitches to put my nuts in their mouth. It's because you fucking lied to them about me. You racist ass motherfuckers. Don't everyone talk at once. Just sit back and let me do all the talking. As you come here to gawk at what you think is a mentally ill pale North American man, like you think I'm some kind of zoo animal or something, which is totally not racist on your part or anything, and you should totally be allowed in workplaces when that's how you look at an entire demographic of the world. Not only that, one that has made like significant contributions to like every STEM field and like every culture and every religion. Yeah, it's totally cool that you come to gawk at a demographic that has made major contributions to the Western Hemisphere like they're a zoo animal because you've been told that it's okay to discriminate against the pale North American man by the world. Totally not gonna backfire on you someday. Like, as you come here to gawk at a pale North American man that you think is mentally ill as if I'm a zoo animal or something, when I'm not even mentally ill on top of it and everything I'm saying makes sense. You're coming here to contribute to mass attempted gaslighting of a pale North American man by demographics that are trying to lead a Holodomor against pale North American men. Totally not good. You're going to be remembered fondly by history, I'm sure. You and your people are going to be remembered super fondly by history. Like, you know how you think it's okay to browbeat pale North American men right now about slavery, even though slavery had been happening in North America, or not in North Africa. Slavery had been happening in North Africa. Pale people had been enslaved by North Africans. Islamic people enslaved pale people. But anyway, so your descendants are going to be browbeaten about how they treated pale North American men for hundreds of years. For hundreds of years. It's going to be inescapable. It's going to be as annoying as it is for a pale person to speak about history on the internet for your descendants, okay, in the future. Your descendants aren't going to be able to go to work in the future without being reminded that their ancestors mistreated pale North American men in spite of the massive amount of discrimination, indentured servitude, and slavery pale people had to survive in the past, contributing to that being the reason they came and settled the rest of the West to begin with. But your descendants, your children, their children, their children, are not going to be able to go anywhere for the rest of time without hearing about the literal attempted Holodomor they committed against pale North Americans and continue to try to commit. That they're actively trying to commit right now. They're not going to be able to go anywhere without hearing about it. I promise you that. Your descendants are going to not think fondly of you and the things you did while you were alive, because we're going to tell them the truth against your will. Everywhere your descendants go for the next couple hundred, if not thousands of years, it's going to be inescapable. We're going to continue to tell them how you, as well as all women, attempted a Holodomor on pale North American men, starting around the 70s. Yeah, it started getting planned, I would say, probably around the end of World War II is when it started. I mean, the foundations were being laid before World War I, but I want to say the actual papers that were literally laying out a plan to attempt a Holodomor on pale North American men. Those papers started getting published and started getting mentioned at speeches by doctors and professors and shit. I want to say around the end of World War II. So we are going to remind your descendants everywhere they go for hundreds of years that your people were complicit in an attempted Holodomor on pale North American men. It is going to be an inescapable fact. That is going to be, it's going to be like compulsory. It's going to be compulsory for us to remind your descendants for hundreds of years that they attempted a Holodomor on pale North American men. And we're going to remind them, like, to have in the back of their mind every time they're around your descendants that they could still be complicit in attempting a Holodomor on them actively. So they're always going to think that you could actively be plotting or attempting to carry out a Holodomor against them, and they're going to act accordingly around your children. That's always going to be in the back of their mind. Always going to be in the back of their mind, and they're always going to remind your descendants that they're aware of what you did and what they could be complicit in because of what you did. It's going to be mentioned everywhere your descendants go. It's going to be an inescapable fact. We're going to tell them to give your descendants nothing, all right? If your children ask my child for a pencil in school, I'm going to tell them no. I'm going to tell them to tell your children no, and to not give your children a piece of paper, a pencil, answers to quizzes. They're not going to help your children with homework. They're not going to give your children food. We're going to tell them to travel in packs because your children are not to be trusted to not commit violence on our children. So we're going to tell our children to try to actively outnumber your children, and we're going to tell them to not trust your children to not try to be committing violence against them, which is why they should travel in groups that outnumber your children. And they should also try to be more heavily armed than your children actively, because your children mean our children harm. That's what I'm going to tell. It's going to be an inescapable fact for hundreds of years. We're going to tell them that if one of your children is serving as a member of law enforcement or the military, that they probably have an ulterior motive that is likely one that means harm to pale North American men. And we're going to tell them to not speak to members of your demographic that are serving as law enforcement because they mean pale North Americans harm and are probably conspiring against them. We're going to tell our children that if your children are serving in a leadership position in a job, that they mean our pale North American men harm, and that they should actively try to get said member of the leadership position at a workplace fired. They should actively be trying to subtly cause them mental distress or just undue stress. They should be going up to them and wasting their time with questions if they're in a leadership position in a way that's not a threat to our pale North American men's employment, but in a way that causes chaos in the workplace. It should be like a subtle form of corporate like sabotage. They should quietly quit in a way that doesn't get them fired. They should do the bare minimum in the workplace. We should get our pale North American men to do the bare minimum in the workplace, especially if your children are serving in a leadership position at said workplace, until there stops being discrimination and pay discrepancies, until opportunities open up again for pale North American men in the workplace. We should tell our pale North American children to actively try to undermine the efficiency of any operation that your children have a leadership position in, especially the medical industry, STEM fields. AI is supposedly a big money maker right now, so any non-pale North American that is like, what's it called? In a leadership position in the workplace. And this needs to happen until women stop trying to literally privatize and corporatize romance. Until women stop going on TikTok to call for other women to not engage in intercourse or reproductive activity with pale North American men, until this activity ceases, we need to start undermining the narrative that the Rockefeller-funded, Department of Defense-funded education system is indoctrinating our children. Or we need to feed the exact opposite narrative that they are feeding our pale North American children in the Rockefeller DoD-funded education system. We need to actively undermine the narrative of TikTok and the Rockefeller DoD-funded education system. That being, we need to actually be actively fighting back and undermining the narrative that they're trying to normalize, and the treatment that they're trying to normalize that is being done. Because the thing is that there are demographics in North America that have taken the bait of this narrative, so to speak. That being that there are So yeah, we just gotta undermine the narrative. But in all facets of your life, you have to be undermining your narrative. If there's a lane that you can be the best in the world in. If you're a pale North American man, I don't care if it's underwater. I don't care if it's underwater basket weaving. If you're a pale North American man and there's something you can be the best in the world at, then you need to be the best in the world at it. Okay? And you need to do this because they're trying to undermine you everywhere you go. The people that want to commit a Holodomor against pale North American men are undermining you everywhere you go, whether you realize it or not. Okay? Whether you realize it or not, whether it's because they've implanted a mind virus in everyone around you that is causing them on a subconscious level to not respect you as an individual. It does not matter what the cause is, okay? They have conditioned everyone around you to not show you any respect, okay? So at this point, you need to stick up for you and yours, okay? Now, what's annoying about this is that there's going to be pale North American people undermining you everywhere you go, because there are literal pale North American turncoats. But you still need to improve the situation. You have to improve the situation for everyone to improve the situation for you. So do not let people convince you that you are some sort of dolt that is like fighting for people that aren't fighting for you. It doesn't matter if no one's fighting for you. You need to improve. You need to dramatically improve the situation for everyone in order for the situation to improve for you. Okay? People that are trying to get you thinking that it's okay to shit on what you are as a person just because the situation is bad for you, that is a defeatist mentality. Okay? If they get you to start bad-mouthing what you are, then the situation is never going to improve for people that come after you. Okay? If you start running around bad-mouthing people for being pale and North American, if you start speaking ill of, if you are a pale North American and you start speaking ill of pale North Americans and you start letting people convince you that it's okay for you to shit on pale North Americans, then the situation is never going to improve for you. If you need the situation to improve for all pale North Americans in order for the situation to improve for you. Okay? It doesn't matter if you become rich, because if you're a rich pale North American, you are still of a demographic that has no respect. Look at how it is for Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a rich pale. He is South African, but he moved to North America. He represents North America somehow, basically now, regardless of the fact that he is South American. But he's rich, or South African. He's South African or whatever. He's rich, and people don't respect him because he's pale. So you need to improve the situation for all pale people if you want anything to matter for you as a pale person. If you want anyone to show you respect, you need to improve the situation inherently for what you are, because the problem is stemming from the fact that people don't respect pale North Americans because they have pale North Americans running around bad-mouthing being a pale North American. So if you want the situation to improve for you as a pale North American, you need to be the best in the world at something as a pale North American, and you need to tell people to put some fucking respect on it when you see people bad-mouthing pale North Americans. And that needs to happen on an individual level. All pale North Americans need to tell a motherfucker to shut up if they start bad-mouthing pale North Americans, if you want the situation to improve for any pale North Americans. Why do I not enter? Why do not enter? Where did it go? Alright, that was weird. We're back, I think. Hopefully we're back. Exciting things happened off screen. Exciting things happened off screen, people. Do you want to know? Someone give me some sort of audience engagement in the chat if they want me to know, or if they want to know what happened off screen that was exciting. I'm only going to share the intimate personal details of my life if I get paid with audience engagement via chat, because you guys want to monetize romance with your OnlyFans and your Cash App transactions, and you're taking to dating apps and saying that you sell pictures and things like that, since you guys want to monetize romance, and since you want to try to price my demographic out of reproducing, since you evil women that live in North America and immigrate to North America, since you want to try to price my demographic out of reproduction, which is the most atrocious thing, and we're going to remind our children, our pale North American children, for generations that you horrible, evil women in North America of this generation tried to price my demographic specifically out of romance, because you don't do this to people that immigrate here. You don't do this to non-pale North American people that immigrate here, which is curious. It's curious that you don't price third worlders out of reproduction. You just want to price pale North American men out of reproduction. You evil eugenicist women that are trying to commit a Holodomor against pale North American men. I like how third world men that immigrate here to abuse the system don't get priced out of reproduction. It's just the pale North American men that you have to demonize and try to price out of reproducing. Curious how that's the case. So, if I were you, regardless of how much it alienates me from people, regardless of the consequences, I wouldn't lie to myself or the world, and I would spend every waking moment of my life pointing out how, in fact, the system is discriminating against pale North American men in all facets, down to there being video evidence of pale North American women going to television to advertise Planned Parenthood by telling a pale North American man that she thinks pale North American women should put all pale North American children for the next 10 years in birth clinic dumpsters. Okay? The lady who started Planned Parenthood went on black and white television and told a pale North American man that all pale North American children for the next 10 years should be put in birth clinic dumpsters with a straight face of a psychopath, of an unrepentant psychopath. The lady that started Planned Parenthood went on black and white television and told a pale North American man with a straight face that she thinks all pale North American children should be put in birth clinic dumpsters for the next 10 years. So you tell me how that doesn't line up with what's happening right now. They are trying to price pale North American men out of having children. You have to comply and spread the eugenicist narrative of the people who don't want pale North Americans to exist to be a pale North American that has a child. Tell me how that's okay. You have to indoctrinate your pale North American child in a school system full of children that are going to tell your pale North American child that they don't have a right to reproduce until they're 18 years old. they're not going to let your pale North American child fight back against this narrative with violence. They'll put them in prison for even conspiring to do so in written format with their cell phone devices. It doesn't matter if it's one that you paid for or one that the government paid for. If the government catches wind that your pale North American child fought back against the eugenicist narrative being told to him by non-white broccoli-headed fuckboys that are fake gangsters, if they fight back with violence against this narrative in any way, shape, or form, and the government catches wind of it, they're going to put your pale North American child in jail.